Okay. So yesterday we have talked about corporate governance, right? So corporate governance is basically the norm at which a company works, right?
Yes.
Okay. The rules and regulations that we took on the second chapter, it is for the ACCNs to follow, right? Okay. But
Yes.
corporate governance code is something that the company should, adhere to while running the company. All right. Okay.
Yes.
So in the UK corporate governance code, we are going to discuss about the first element, that is the leadership. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So all the company is executed or operated by an effective board. All right. So board is responsible for operating the company. All right. And this
Yes.
particular board is responsible for running all the strategic decision making, all the, activities related with achieving company's goals. Clear? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this board has two members to it. One is the executive directors and the other is the non-executive directors. Clear? Okay.
Yes.
So it should always and always contain these two members in order to run the company. That means the board must not be fully executive directors. The board must not be fully non-executive directors. We'll talk about what is an executive and non-executive directors later on. Clear?
Okay.
Okay. Now, this particular board is responsible for carrying out activities or managing the company, right? Now, this activity or management is not done by one person. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. So it would be split between the head of the company, okay, as well as the board. Clear? So everyone equally would, integrate with one another in order to run the company. Okay. So board is also not enough, right? We want the employees to work better. Understood? So all the staff and all the board together runs a company. Clear?
Yep.
Now, in this board, no individual is given a significant power to control the company. Understood? So everyone has an equal chance to control the company. Clear? Okay.
Yes.
So board is run by executives and non-executives. Okay. And their responsibility is to run the company without any specific significant power to anyone. Clear? Okay. Now,
Yep.
who leads the board? Chairman. Clear? Okay. So, BOD is led by the chairman. Clear? Okay.
Yep.
BOD consists of executive directors and non-executive directors. We say them as ED and NED. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, executive directors would give many strategic options. They would, pitch in many ideas for the company. All right. And it is the duty of the non-executive directors to challenge them. Understood? Okay. So when ED says something, NED is supposed to criticize it. Clear? Or NED is supposed to bring in their suggestions. Understood? No? Okay.
Yes.
And this way, okay, the corporate governance code is making sure that board is actually led by a chairman who would be like a referee, all right, and there would be EDs and there would be NEDs, all right, and ED is going to give you strategic options and strategic ideas, and they are going to give you basically all the methods in a way by which a company should be managed, right? And NED is the
Yep.
one who is going to challenge anything and everything that the ED would say. Understood?
Yep.
Clear? Second,
Yep.
effectiveness. Okay, second one is effectiveness. Now, we need to know that you now know that BOD consists of two elements, right? ED and NED. Okay. Now, this ED and NED should have a proper balance of skill, knowledge, and experience. Understood? Okay. And it is crucially important that this whole system is independent. Clear? So when we say independent in AA, I'm really bad with spellings, all right. We usually say it as unbiased, okay, not partial. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. So independence means you're not dependent on anyone's decision. You're not dependent on anyone's opinion. You're not dependent on anyone's view. Clear? So that is called independency. Okay. So if you're independent, you
Yes.
must be unbiased. You must not be partial. Clear? Okay. So all
Yes.
of these structure, that is the ED, NED, and chairman, should be unbiased. That means they should be independent. They should be able to give their own opinions, give their own decisions. Clear? Okay. Now,
Yes.
see, when you appoint a board, it would be for a year. Clear? Basically, it would be for a year. Okay. And every year, it would be reappointed. Clear? So when the board is reappointed or when the new directors are appointed, it should be transparent and it should be formal. Clear? So it shouldn't be something that one person does. It shouldn't be something that is done in, secret. Okay, that means it should be transparent. Clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now, when any director is going to leave the BOD, then he should be given sufficient time. All right. He should be given sufficient time in order to discharge his responsibilities effectively. That means he must be given some time in order to, give up his responsibility and make someone else do it. Clear? Okay. Now,
Yes.
Now, what happens when you join a university as a new student? What happens? You would get a tour of the college, right?
Yes.
Same way, if a director is newly appointed, okay, then he is to be given a joining induction. That means he is to be familiarized with what happens in the company and how does it happen. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. And this is so that their skill can be updated, their skills, their knowledge can be refreshed. Clear? Okay.
Yep.
So their skills and knowledge should be refreshed, should be updated before, taking the position formally. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. Now, the board is responsible for providing all the information that is needed. Okay. And in order to make the discharge of duties possible for the retiring directors. Clear? For the
Yep.
outgoing directors. Clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now, the board is also responsible for, making their own performance assessment. That means they have to look into what the activities they have done so far. They have to evaluate their own work. Clear? Okay. And
Yep.
also of the committees that is there in the organization and also the for the individual directors. Clear?
Yes.
About the committees, we'll be discussing later on. Okay, there are many committees in the organization. We'll be discussing about it later on. Clear? Clear?
Yeah. One thing I realized that auditor and the
Mm.
Supreme Court judge is appointed in the same, like they have a same uh, rules and regulation to follow it. Like,
The Supreme Court judge.
yeah, because
I,
recently
I
I saw the Rurati video, on how to, like dictatorship, like new video. Have you seen that?
no, 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 no. Which one?
The dictator. I
Ah,
think.
just a moment.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So all the directors, okay, they would be always re-elected, all right? So all the directors in a
Yes.
specific interval, maybe from 1 to 2 years, they would be re-elected, okay? And they are to, if they want to come again, they should file for or submit a re-election, all right, at regular intervals, okay? And after evaluating the performance, the board would decide whether or not they would be reappointed. Clear? Okay. Now,
Yep.
accountability. Okay. So we know BOD is a balanced membership between the ED and NEDs, right? Okay.
Yep.
So everything that happens in the company is managed by the board, and anything that the company's results would show is accountable by the board. Clear? Okay.
Yep.
And this is specifically because board is the one who is deciding what to do. Okay. And what the nature and extent of the risk that they are willing to take. Okay. And what are the strategic actions they are taking. Clear? So everything is done by the board, and accordingly the accountability falls upon them. Clear? Okay. And board is also responsible for risk management. Now, what is a risk? Okay. Risk is something that adversely would affect the business, right? Or the company.
Yes.
Okay. And this particular risk is managed by the board. Clear? And also, I have said before, internal controls, which are checkpoints in the company, right?
Yeah.
Just I cited an example as in the airports, right? Before we
Yep.
reach the flight, we go through a number of procedures and then we reach there, right? Same way,
Yes.
all the companies would also have such system in place, and that systems are the internal control system. Clear? And
Yes.
these two things are a very important topics. Okay. Very important topics in AA. We'll be discussing
But
them. Yes.
I just seen yesterday one of my friend advertising about risk management course. So what is it, risk management course?
Risk
What they
manage
actually teach?
Risk management is basically all the things that would adversely affect the company and how the board of directors manage it, and also the auditors are the one who is looking into how the board tackles such situations. Clear? But
Okay.
when we talk about risk management in AA, it is an entire topic basically. Clear?
Okay. I asked
We'll
him
be
like what is that? He said, "Come join us on like next week on they have something in like conference or something."
Oh, I
So he
see.
said,
Okay.
"Come and join us. It's a free for everyone."
Okay, just join. You'll get more extra knowledge, right? No
Yeah,
problem.
but that day I checked it. That day I'm working. I have a shift.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay, okay.
So basically, it's
Yeah, we
morning
have
10
that
to
particular topic
so
here itself. Just narrow introduction of what it really is. It is there yet somewhere. See here. This one, this area.
okay.
Okay. We'll be discussing it in a small detail in this chapter, but we'll have an entire chapter and entire portion dedicated just for risk management and internal controls. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's see. So board is the one who is going to maintain a sound risk management system as well as a sound internal control system. Okay. Now,
Yep.
board is also, whatever the board does should be transparent and formal. That means no informal activities is to be done. No secrecy is to be maintained. That means everything that the board does would be transparent. Clear? Especially for the company's auditor. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, next is remuneration. So, remuneration, we can say in a way that it is a revolution in the corporate governance code, right? Because
Yep.
what happened in Carolian company was the negligence of the directors or the loyalty of the directors towards making the company good. Okay. Because they was actually involved or interested in their own income than making the company good, right? So remuneration is a very, you know, turning life changing corporate governance code in the company. Clear? Okay. Now, there are certain things that are to be kept in mind when you're going to fix a remuneration to the directors and LDs. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. So, what things that is to be noted? First one, levels of remuneration should be sufficient to attract, retain, and motivate directors of the quality required, but should not pay more than necessary. So, all the EDs and NEDs wouldn't work for free. That is for sure. All right. So, they are going to come, they're going to work for us, but we have to pay them, right? So whatever
Yes.
we are going to pay, it should be minimal. That is, it should be able to attract them. It should be able to motivate them in doing more. Okay, but it shouldn't compromise the company's earning capacity. Clear?
Okay.
And it shouldn't be greed driven. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. Second one, remuneration should be designed to promote the long term success of the company. So when you're going to fix the remuneration, it is going to be on a long term basis, right? So you have to consider that as well, because your company should be able to pay them even if the company goes awry, right? So they should be able to maintain that particular payout. So the remuneration should be fixed in a way viewing the long term capacity of the business. Clear?
Yes.
Now, when the directors are given their remuneration, it should be made sure that everything is formal and transparent. Clear? Okay, so all the
Yes.
people should be made known on how the directors are getting paid. Clear? And how much of the company's earnings are going to the directors. Clear? Okay. Now,
Yep.
and it is a very important rule that no director is allowed to set their own pay. Clear?
Yep.
Okay, that means he can't set his own pay. Understood? Now, relation with the shareholders. Okay, next element is relation with the shareholders. Okay, now the shareholders and the board should communicate effectively and in mutual understanding. That means all the possible conflicts should be reduced to minimum effort. Clear? So there should be a minimum conflict and maximum effort to harmony. Clear, no? Okay.
Yes.
Second one, the board as a whole has responsibility for ensuring satisfactory dialogue with the shareholders takes place. When the communication between the shareholders and board take place, okay, it should be satisfactory. That means the shareholders shouldn't be unhappy with the decisions taken by the board. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. Now, when we say communicate, the board is not just going to randomly pick up phone and call the shareholders. No, it doesn't work like that. They're going to hold general meetings. It can be a special general meeting, extraordinary general meeting. It can be an AGM, that is the annual general meeting. Clear? And in this
Yes.
meeting, they are going to involve the shareholders in making the decisions along with them. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. Now, structure of the board of directors. All right. Now, there is no compulsory form of board of directors. That is, there is no, there is no such compulsory amount of directors and non-directors that, entities that should be involved. Okay. But often in the companies, okay, when we have directors, we should have a more of non-executive directors, right? So there is BOD, and BOD consists of ED and NED, right? Non-executive directors and directors, all right? But
Yep.
NEDs should be more. Clear? That is the only rule that should be followed. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. So in Tesco company, it is a large multinational supermarket chain. Okay. And they have 13 directors. Clear? Okay. And
Yes.
Swire Pacific Limited, it is also a large company based in Hong Kong. All right. And they have 18 directors, right? And this
Yep.
particular 13 and 18 would be split between ED and NEDs. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. Now, in the small, there is no such, rule of thumb as on this much directors would be there in the company, and out of that, this much should be ED, this much should be an ED. There is no such rules. Clear? So it is
Okay.
basically upon the company's size and nature that the company should appoint directors. Clear? If the company is very large, they need
Yes.
very large directors, right? If the company is very
Yes.
small, they need less number of directors. Clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now, as we have mentioned earlier, directors consist of executive directors, that is the ED, and the NED, that is non-executive directors. Clear? Now, when it comes to executive
Yep.
directors, they are like a full-time employees in the company. All right. So all the financial director, the financial controller, or the senior level managers are all basically the directors of the company. Clear? Not all of them, but the ones that are appointed between them. Clear? Okay.
Yeah.
So they are going to play two roles. They are going to be the ones that are managing the company. Also, they are going to be there in the members of the BOD. Clear? Okay. And all these ED
Yes.
would work in the company as a senior level position. Clear? Okay.
Yep.
And they are primarily involved in making all the significant decisions that is happening in the company. Clear, no? Okay. They can
Yes.
be responsible for finance. They can be responsible for IT systems. They can be responsible for marketing and etc. Clear?
Yes.
Now, executive directors are also recruited by the board of directors. That is, the board of directors are going to decide the EDs. Okay. There would be a startup ED and the all the consecutive EDs would be directed by the remaining members. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. And they are they are the ones who was the highest earners of the company. Clear? Okay.
Yep.
And for them, they would have a basic pay and also some fringe benefits. That is benefits based upon the performance that they have showcased. All right. So they have two types of remuneration. Clear, no? Okay.
Yes.
Now, in most of the companies now, what happens is that most of them gives a fixed amount of remuneration to the directors. That means they don't have any fringe benefits. They don't have any benefits upon the performance. They are given a special fixed term contract unto which their basic pay and some benefits are being made. Clear? So it's a fixed term
Yep.
contract now. Clear? And this fixed term contract would be renewed every 12 months. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. Now, we know that BOD has ED and NED. Okay. And BOD is led by chairman, right? Now, this particular ED is also led by someone, and that is the CEO. Clear? That is Chief Executive Officer. You have heard of it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, Chief Executive Officer or the CEO or the Finance Director is always the Executive Directors. Understood? Okay.
Yes.
Clear? Now, the other one, the NEDs. So see, ED is someone from a professional body. ED is someone with knowledge, education, skill, experience. Clear? Okay.
Yeah.
But when it comes to NEDs, they are not basically as much educated or knowledgeable as ED. Clear?
Okay.
And they are not the employees of the company. Okay.
Okay.
And they are not at all involved in the day-to-day activities of the company. Okay. And NEDs are people who can be outside from the organization who actually work somewhere else. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. And often when we select NEDs, it can be someone who is very prominent in public life. Clear? So it totally depends upon the company whom to take NED as. Okay. Now, all the
Yes.
NEDs would be given a flat fee for whatever service they render to the company. Clear? And this
Yep.
particular fee system would be a contract for service. That is, it would be a civil contract. Okay. That is when you hire someone for consultation, for business consultation, you hire them on a contract basis. You give them fee for their services, right? Same way NEDs would also be treated.
Yep.
Clear? Okay. Now, this
Yep.
NED is actually required in a company to question the working of the ED. Clear? So NED is outside people.
Yep.
Okay. Now you must understand NED, even though it's outside people, it can also have shareholders in the company who are not very, active participant of whatever happens in the company. Clear? Okay. Even though
Yep.
we say NED is not from a professional body, they should have a bare minimum of understanding things from the company. Clear? So
Yep.
they shouldn't be someone so ignorant that they can't understand anything. No, it doesn't work like that. They have a bare minimum quality. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, so what are their roles? They're going to provide strategic ideas. That is, they're going to give suggestions in the meetings. Clear? Okay, they're
Yep.
going to continuously criticize the performance of the EDs. That is, they're going to evaluate the performance of the EDs. Okay, they're going
Yep.
to give their own ideas on the risk management of the company. Okay, they're going to deal with any issues in or conflicts in the company. Okay, and they're also able to, decide upon the board. Okay, they are able to find solutions to the conflicts that is there. Clear?
Yep.
Okay, now all the NEDs for sure should be independent. Clear? That is a thing. Okay, and the factors when we consider the NEDs being included there in their business are their line of business, their financial role, their commitments towards the business, their shareholdings in the company. Okay, their directorship, their involvement in the company. Clear? So all these things should be considered before appointing someone as an ED. Clear? Okay. Now, it doesn't matter if the company's shareholdings is there with the NEDs or not. They can still be the NED. Clear? Okay. So, holding the shares of the company does not make them invalid for the NED post. Clear? So even if he is a shareholder in the company, he can be an NED. Clear?
Yep.
Now, when you're going to when you're going to be an NED, he should be of high ethical standards. That means he should have his own stand. He should have his own ethics. He should have his own integrity. Clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now, this NED and ED makes together the board, right? So NED should always be able to keep up the harmony with the ED while evaluating their work. Clear? So things should go in hand. That is, they should criticize anything that is laid out by the ED, but also they should support the ED regarding the working of the company. Clear? Okay?
Yes.
And they can do like they can listen, they can question, they can debate, they can challenge, but in the end, they are also responsible with the BOD equally as the ED. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. Now, it is now in best practice that always in a company, more NEDs are preferred than being executive directors. Clear? So, more than two NEDs should be there in order to run a board. Okay. So, the ratio is such that, okay, there should be more than two NEDs in a board. Clear? Okay. So taking the same example as the Tesco company. So in Tesco company, there are 5 executive directors and 8 independent non-executive directors. See, clear? So
Yes.
the 13 number is split between 5 ED and 13 NED. Clear? Sorry, 8 NED. Clear? And in
Yeah.
the other company, that is the Spire Pacific Limited of 18 members, 8 is ED and the other 10 is NED. Clear? Okay. And out
Yeah.
of the 10, 6 is completely independent. That means they are not connected with the company at all. They are from outside. Clear? Okay. Now, there is also someone called a shadow director. Clear? So, shadow director is also responsible for controlling the activities of a company. Okay. And they
Yeah.
can be an actual director as well, indirectly. Okay. So, for example, if a person is, by his behavior showing that he's a director of the company, then he is a shadow director. Clear? That is,
Yeah.
everything in the company is taken by also consulting him. Then, in a way, even though he has not publicized his candidacy in the director, he is still a shadow director. Understood?
Yep.
Okay, and in some laws or in some countries, shadow directors are also recognized as being accountable in the law as actual directors. Clear, no?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll stop here and talk about CEO in the next class, CEO and secretary. All right, and their duties and responsibilities as well. Okay, this chapter is pretty long and it is pretty important too because you're going to have for sure 6 to 12 marks from this chapter. Understood?
Yep.
So we'll continue in the next class. All right.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, read and come tomorrow. Okay. I'll be sending
Yeah.
you the recording once the class is finished. Okay, Asif?
Yes. Yes, no problem. Yesterday
So
you sent me the recording. Yeah, you turn off the